killer set of numbers that came out on Friday evening and disappointed the street. Ramesh Iyer, the MD of M&M Financial Services, joins us now. Hi, Mr. Iyer. Thank you very much for joining in today. Let's begin by talking about the asset quality. Gross NPA spiked to 8%. What led to the worsening in terms of the gross NPLs this quarter? And it was expected to be seasonally weak. But did the extent of worsening take you by surprise?
Not really by surprise, since we run the business. We knew that it's moving that direction, and two reasons largely, I would think. One is, as in the first quarter or beginning of the first quarter, we had this untimely rains which caused some disturbance to the crop prices, whether in Maharashtra or Madhya Pradesh, putting pressure on the cash flows. So that was one clearly. I think the second is, of course, the overall activity levels are yet to pick up, which we have been saying quarter after quarter. And third, as you rightly said, we normally have the first quarter pressures. After a fourth quarter, we do have the first and second quarter in the rural market always are the weakest quarters. So if you kind of put all three together, that's what has taken to a new number up there. But it's also important to understand that the gross percentage is an outcome of also the denominator effect. When the assets don't grow at 20-25% the way it was growing in the past, and the denominator effect also come in. But on an absolute basis, I must tell you that yes, the NPAs have gone up, and it's an outcome of the cash flow situations that we face in the rural market.
Okay, so Mr. Iyer, could you throw some more color on what's taking place in the rural markets in terms of collections and defaults, and also if you could tell us which sectors or geographies are facing the most pressure?
If you kind of look at almost on an all India basis, we see in every state there has been a little pressure on cash flow, and the segment that we work with are all earn and pay segment, whether it is the cars that we finance, the UV that we finance, the tractors that we finance, all of them are deployed for commercial use, and the earnings out of that is really used for repayment of installment. So the overall activity levels have been pretty low across the country, and also the farm sector has not been performing well. And if you kind of add the two together, I think the cash flows for these customers remain pressurized. What used to be a monthly installment payment, and if you look at almost all our segment, it's a monthly installment schemes for them. But they're not earning enough possibility to service a loan on a monthly basis, and that builds up a little overdue while the customers are servicing the contract. It's very important to note that even though we may have a higher level of NPLs or collection deficiencies, but the customers are able to service loans on a monthly basis, but what they are not able to clear is the built-up overdues. So I would think that, it's not a particular state or a particular segment. The pressure is overall there across the country, which is putting pressure on the customer cash flows.
Okay. So you spoke about unseasonal rains and the impact on the numbers, but how are the collections and disbursements shaping up in the context of the monsoon? How has it or will it impact your business?
See, if you look at June, the monsoon was pretty good. There was a delay or the stretch that in July had a dry spell. But I think the last about a week or so, once again, July has also got decent rains. So we expect that as we end the season, it should end up definitely above average, which means close to normal kind of a situation. And we believe that the rural sentiments will change around this time, which means the festival season is expected to be much better than what we've seen the last 2 quarters. So I would expect from festival season, which is commencing sometime September upward, one would start seeing corrections in these markets.
Okay. For FY16, how are you placed in terms of the gross NPLs, especially if you are factoring in a possible shift to 150, maybe 120 days recognition?
See, as far as F16 is concerned, it's 150 days is the requirement, and we have already towards that. We are already 150, we have compliant. What we plan to do though is that we will look at the progress going forward and start preparing ourselves in advance for F17. So we will take a view as the quarter passes by as to how we want to prepare ourselves about it. But in as far as F16 by itself is concerned, we believe, and as I said, post monsoon, from the festival season, we do expect sentiments will change, and we expect things to start improving sometime from September onwards it's our forecast.
Okay, so how do you expect to end FY16 in terms of NPLs? Lower, stagnant, or worse than 8%?
See, our effort, in fact, number of branches that we've opened more deeper branches, in fact, to focus on collections. So I think strategically we are preparing ourselves to be much better off in terms of the overall collection efficiency is concerned. But at the end of the day, the effort can produce only so much result as much the market can participate in improvement. And which is why I say that effective sometime September, October, one definitely does expect trends will change, sentiments will become positive, and coupled with our efforts and our reach that we have built, the number of people we have added in the system, we definitely want to, at least for sure, register improvement over where we are.
What about a more near-term outlook in terms of the gross NPLs? Say for the next quarter, Mr. Iyer, are we going to see the Q2 gross NPL stagnant at 8%, or your outlook?
Again, it's difficult to put a number out there, but I think one shouldn't forget that the gross NPL is an outcome of also the denominator effect, as I've been saying repeatedly. Right? The asset book isn't growing aggressively. But importantly, the second quarter is not likely to be kind of very different from the first quarter in terms of the overall activity levels at the ground is concerned, because it's monsoon time, not too much activity, people are busy sowing and things like that, and that's been historical. It's not pertaining to this quarter alone. So as a company, we have always clear that the first two quarters remain a pressurizing quarter from a collection perspective, and things start changing from the third quarter onwards, and we do expect the same will happen this year.
Okay, so let's move on from asset quality and talk about disbursements. Which segments led this 9% growth in the last quarter?
The car segment has grown for us, and also the pre-owned vehicle, the second-hand vehicle financing of cars, UVs, tractors, that's grown for us, and that has registered a little growth. Apart from the fact that marginal improvement to our market share must have happened in our UV segment and tractor segment. But volume-wise, it's been the car segment and the pre-owned vehicle segment which has contributed to the growth.
Okay, Mr. Iyer, just leave us with your thoughts in terms of what is this trend of CV, commercial vehicles, commercial equipment and pre-owned cars demand picking up according to you, with tractors falling. What is it telling you?
See, so far as the pre-owned is concerned, what that tells us is there's a need for a vehicle, but people are waiting to wait until they can buy a new vehicle. So they are willing to invest in a pre-owned vehicle to meet their needs, but are not wanting to possibly invest as much high for a new vehicle. So that's something one can see possibly is the trend that one can witness there. So far as the CV and CE is concerned, I personally think it's little more preparedness for a likely infra project commencement maybe 3 months, 6 months down the line. So we yet not seeing major activity in terms of utilization of these products, but people are acquiring asset and getting ready for as and when the infra projects open up, then they are ready already to embark on that growth story.
Okay, Mr. Iyer, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for joining in and talking to us. That's M&M Financial Services. Time for a break. But before we do that, we should just pull up the PNB stock, Anuj. Interestingly, that one is in fact spiked up and is in the green. We're expecting the numbers to come out soon. So maybe this could be some optimism ahead of the 6.5% gross NPLs recorded last quarter.
Yes, that's